I am upset. I am very upset. You wanna know why I am upset? Cause Hidden Xperia thinks he can make the only correct Halo tier list, but only I can. So I'm gonna make it right now. The definitive Halo tier list. Okay, I have some gripes with his tier list. All right, I'm not gonna mention the specifics, but you'll see it once I make the tier list. All right, I'll leave the link to his video down in the description. You can compare and contrast my tier list with his tier list and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I'm just gonna make my own tier list, which is actually gonna be the definitive tier list. So yeah, let's just get right into it and not waste any more time. First game, Halo Combat Evolved. It's S tier, pretty standard stuff as to why. Combat Evolved is an amazing game. Has an amazing campaign and multiplayer. The campaign, although like the game in general is really rather simplistic, the story is pretty simplistic. We just get the story through the eyes of the Master Chief and Cortana. We don't really know too much about the motivations of the Covenant, other than they want to activate the Halo Rings and kill humanity, I guess. It has amazing campaign missions like the Pillar of Autumn, Stellar Cartographer, 343 Guilty Spark, and the last mission, Maw. Those are just some of the great missions. Basically, all of them are great. Some of the campaign missions are quite repetitive. They keep using the same rooms. Like the library and TP Trails, some of the rooms are just very repetitive, but that's just a small thing out of the entire pie. In general, this game is like pretty good, although a little bit dated. It's basically just a baseline, the basic standard for a Halo game that no Halo game should ever, deviate from really too much, like Halo Reach did, or Halo 4 and 5. Those are prime examples of what not to do with a Halo game. Or those are prime examples of a Halo game deviating from the baseline Combat Evolved style of gameplay. Story-wise, although it didn't really show too much of the Covenant like Halo 3 and 2 did, it was still it was still a compelling story. It was still fun to see Cortana talk with the Master Chief and all that, and seeing Johnson, being in the beginning and throughout the game being Johnson. Multiplayer wise, it's everything that you love about the campaign, but you're just playing against other players. Basically, all the weapons in the sandbox are viable, except for maybe one or two weapons, like the assault rifle and the needler. Those two weapons aren't that good in gameplay, other than you use them for meleeing. I actually heard from somewhere that the assault rifle actually melees a bit faster than most of the weapons. I'm not really too sure about that. I'm too lazy to check. You can check it for yourselves. But yeah, the sandbox is pretty usable, pretty viable. And it's not just the gameplay that makes this game amazing. It's actually the maps as well, believe it or not. We have some maps that keep getting remade, like Battle Creek, Sidewinder kinda in Halo 3, Damnation, Rat Race, Prisoner, Hang 'em High, Chill Out. Basically, almost all of the Halo 1 maps have been remade in all the Halo games. Not all Halo games, but there's always like a Halo 1 map in each Halo game, a few of them in each Halo game. The ones that I haven't really seen that I want to see remastered is probably Boarding Action and Longest. I don't know if that's in Halo 5. I know a lot of the ones that haven't been remade in the older Halo games have been remade in Halo 5, at least in the Forge. But yeah, I also want to see Danger Canyon. I don't think Danger Canyon and Infinity have been remastered in any of the games, not even in Forge, I think, to what I'm aware of. Yeah, the maps are amazing. There's a reason why they keep being remade and remade each Halo game. Basically, that's my conclusion to why this game is pretty amazing. Alright, next Halo. Halo 2. Again, it's gonna be an S tier, but I like Halo 2 better than Halo 1. Alright? I know some of you might, Hidden Xperia might disagree with it. Some of you guys might disagree with it, but listen, man. Halo 2. Despite all of its issues with the story and balancing of the campaign, it's still a masterpiece. Halo 2's story This is great. Okay, with the Master Chief, you get the same old Master Chief Cortana story. You know, them trying to stop the Covenant from destroying humanity. But we also get the Arbiter. The introduction of the Arbiter, Velvadam, Rats Vadum, however the fuck you say his name, Heretic Leader, motherfucking the Gravemind, Tartarus, all these amazing characters. We get to see more of the prophets. We get the introduction of the prophets. You know, the leader of the Covenant. We get to see how they operate. You know, their culture. We get a lot of lore in Halo 2 compared to Halo 1. We see the story of the Arbiter from becoming the villain to, you know, kind of the hero when he discovers that the Covenant is actually a piece of shit, bullshit religion. You know, after they get he gets betrayed by them, and also the species gets betrayed by them. They get replaced by the brutes. We also get Miranda Keyes, and Hood. Terrence Hood. That's his name, Terrence. Overall, it's a great campaign. It has a lot of great missions. It has some of my favorite Flood missions in them. I think Halo 2 has the best Flood missions. Multiplayer-wise, it had its balancing issues as well. There's these combos that you can do. I think it was called XBR, where you can just fucking instantly kill people. Although it was hard to master, so you can play the game normally and get shit on by people who master the fucking XRB combo, or you can get good and master it yourself and compete with the other people that use that fucking combo. Honestly, I tried to do it. I can only pull it off once. I'm really bad at the game. Halo 2's maps had some good ones that I wish would return. For example, Burial Mounds and Waterworks. Although some of the other maps from Halo 2 do come back, like Zanzibar, Lockout, Headlong, Ascension. Yeah, it's some pretty great map design. I like Waterworks. Hopefully it comes back in Halo Infinite. I would really like to see how it would look, because it's like a cave. You know, you add some ray tracing on that shit. That shit probably gonna look amazing. The same goes with Lockout. You know, it's dark, snowy, and if they use the Flood iteration where they have a bunch of Flood test subjects, I think that would look pretty well. But yeah, we're getting a little bit off topic here. Halo 2's multiplayer is great. It had a large impact in esports. I think that's basically where it got really popular, was during Halo 2. And then Halo 3 basically pioneered the esports for Halo. So Halo 2 made it popular, Halo 3 made it even more popular. So yeah, that's why Halo 2 deserves an S ranking and deserves a higher rank than CE. Next up, next game, Halo 3, which I again think it's better than Halo 1, but again, it's an S tier, so don't be too mad, okay? Halo 3, the conclusion of the Halo trilogy. It set records. It caused a huge wave of community content. We got the introduction of Forge, custom games, and all that good stuff. Alright, let's start with the Halo 3 campaign. The Halo 3 campaign, hands down, masterpiece. Alright? I'm not much of a story guy, so I'm not really good when it comes to explaining the story and why it's good. It's just good. The campaign is fun. You get to use a wide variety of weapons and vehicles. Although some of the weapons are underpowered, like the assault rifle and the pistol, it's still really fun. We get to fight the brutes again, although they are a little bit downgraded and not really all well thought out. It's fun to fight them. The Grunts and Jackals are all pretty much the same as any other Halo game. They're still fun to shoot at. They still serve their purpose and roles. You get to fight with elites. You get to have these Scarab boss battles. You can do a lot of crazy shit in the Halo 3 campaign. And yeah, I don't really need to explain too much of it. You can just play it and you'll understand why it's so good. Even with all of its faults and errors, it's still incredibly fun to play. Even for me today, I can play the whole campaign right now and I'll still have a pretty good time because it's the replayability of it is just that good. You can always approach different battles in different ways. You can watch the brute bash the guy's head in, or you can kill the brute and save the marine. Like you can do different things for different situations, like every time you replay it. And you get to see the Arbiter finally killing the Prophet and ending the war basically, and the Flood being destroyed. And we get, sadly, the death of one of the greatest characters of all time, Johnson. Rest in peace, my boy. Multiplayer-wise, the most funnest multiplayer experience you'll probably have, especially if you're playing custom games with the boys. It's fun. It's amazing. The only downside I can think of right now is that mostly everyone, the sandbox is kind of limited to just the BR, because every other weapon's kind of doo-doo for it. But compared to the VR and the sniper rifle and some of the other longer range weapons, but that's easily fixed by just picking Auto Slayer, and that kind of fixes that because you don't start off with the battle rifle, so you kind of have to go around and actually look for the power weapons and better weapons and stuff. So other than that, everything else is pretty flawless. Actually, also the plasma pistol's kind of underpowered, I guess. But other than that, it's pretty good. The maps are amazing, probably the best in the series. We also get the return of old Halo maps from different games, like Zanzibar from Halo 2 is in Halo 3. It's called Last Resort. And also Blackout is just Lockout from Halo 2. So you get all these, so you get some of the old maps and you get some amazing new maps on top of that. Like for example, High Ground is an amazing map. The Pit is an amazing map. Valhalla is an amazing map. Sandtrap is my favorite map. And when it comes with these maps, they're really dynamic with, and you can do a lot of stuff in them. Like for example, High Ground, there's this gate that you can open. Or in Last Resort, there's actually this bridge thing that you can lower. So maybe you can snipe some people better or something like that. I don't know. And on top of that, there's the Forge, so you can make maps play differently. So change the weapon placements, add some crates to block off certain paths, or create even new paths. The possibilities are endless when it comes to Halo 3's multiplayer. You can always change the maps so they can play differently each time. And even without the Forge, the base maps are still super dynamic. You can still play the map and not have the same thing happen to you. There's always a different encounter that you have with different players over and over again. So each time you play on the same map, you'll always have a unique experience on the map. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So anyway, Halo 3, top tier. Actually, I think Halo 3 is better than Halo 2. So I'm gonna change that placement there. Halo 3 is the best Halo game, and it's Halo 2 and then Combat Evolved. Alright. Okay, Halo 3 ODST. I love ODST. I freaking love ODST. ODST, I played that game for hours. I replayed the game. I love rocking around the game. It was just the atmosphere, the music. Oh my god, dude. But this breaks my heart. I gotta put it. I'd be tear. As a product, I like the multiplayer. This doesn't count. It's literally just Halo 3 multiplayer, okay? I like the multiplayer. I think it had a theater mode. I don't remember. Did Halo 3 have a theater mode? Okay, I looked it up on Google. It says it has a theater mode. I don't remember using it. But if it did, the theater mode, that's a big plus up. Amazing campaign. No multiplayer. No Forge. Add a firefight. It gets boring I love the firefight, but just come on, man. Like, it gets boring. It gets really boring after a while. Although the firefight was amazing. You get Johnson. If you pre-ordered it, now you can get on the MCC. You can unlock him on the MCC. On the MCC, you can unlock Johnson on the MCC. I'll put him. I'll put it on A tier. I'll put it on A tier. I'm gonna put it on A tier. It deserves A tier. I'm sorry. Reach, the last game that Bungie ever made. I'm gonna put it on A tier. I know what you're saying, Bryce. What the fuck, man? Why isn't it in this tier? Okay, listen, it's a lot better than C tier. Okay, like what Hidden Xperia put him. Okay, this man put it at C tier. Don't complain to me that I put it in A tier, because this game is great. The campaign amazing, the story amazing, the characters amazing. Halo Reach, like I said before, everything about the game is pretty amazing. Like the characters, the setting, the story, it's all amazing. You know, the story, it's more like the story is more like about Reach than it is about anything else. The story of Reach, but you see it through the eyes of Noble Six, and you see how slowly after each battle, you slowly start to realize that you're losing the war on Reach, and at the end you just get fucking murdered. You really get a sense of dread, you know, after seeing what happens. You know, like those Marines that you see in the first mission, how horribly they got killed, or when Kat says this.
You didn't answer my question.
You want to know if we're losing?
I know we're losing. I want to know if we've lost.
You really get the sense of dread, and you understand how the characters feel, and it makes it even worse when you see some of your favorite Noble team characters get killed one by one until Noble 6 is left. Except for June. June, he's a lucky son of a bitch. He actually survives the events of Reach. The only Noble survivor. Oh yeah, spoilers by the way. Everyone dies. Yeah, multiplayer wise, it's pretty good. I don't like the Bloom though. The Bloom is pretty shit. I don't like it's more like it's kind of like RNG based. That's what Bloom is, RNG. I might hit my shot, I might not hit my shot. It just depends. Yeah, they kind of fucked up with that mechanic. I think it has the same issues as Halo 3 somewhat with when it comes to the weapon sandbox. Most people prefer the DMR. The assault rifle is still fucking shit. The Needler is better though, but it's still not really good. Everyone still just uses the DMR. So when it comes to the multiplayer sandbox, it still has like dominant guns in the sandbox. It doesn't really allow you to use any of the other weapons, unfortunately. I mean, you can, and you can still get some kills, but you'll probably be worse off with those weapons instead of using the DMR or Needler. The Needler is overpowered. It's a really good gun. Although other than that, it's pretty good. There's the custom game. The custom games is probably one of the best in the series, and then yeah, the firefight. It's not better or worse than Halo 3 ODST's firefight, but there's more customized. Actually, no, it is better because you can customize it a lot more than Halo 3 ODST. Actually, I don't think Halo ODST has any real customization for the firefight. I think Halo Reach is the first one to have some level of customization when it comes to a firefight. You can change your player's speed, durability. You can change the gravity, a whole bunch of stuff. So a big plus with firefight. Theater comes back again. Forge, probably the biggest jump in quality ever. Like the Forge is amazing. Many people made a lot of good maps with the Halo Reach Forge sandbox. We had a lot of good maps on there too, like Forge World. Basically a blank canvas for your imagination to run wild. Although the multiplayer kind of kills it for me. Although the campaign S tier, the multiplayer side of things, I don't know. I want to give it like a B tier, C tier. So that's why it deserves an A tier ranking, and not an S tier ranking. Hold on, Halo Wars. I don't think it's fair because it's not really like an FPS like the other ones are, but it was pretty fun. Uploading B tier, the campaign. It wasn't anything special. I kind of like it. I usually don't like RTS games, but I liked Halo Wars, so I'm gonna put it there. The multiplayer, I never got to play the multiplayer. I only got to play the campaign because the multiplayer is just fucking dead. No one plays that shit no more. So there you go. Halo 4, the most polarizing game ever. It basically killed esports. Halo Reach esports, it was still there, but it was still pretty okay. It was nowhere near Halo. It was nowhere near Halo 3, but it was still there. And Halo 4 kind of killed it. You know, like it's basically just like Reach without Bloom. Nah, I can't even insult Reach like that. Like Halo 4, like it's the campaign is just all over the place. I tried to give you too much information in one place. The characters, they kind of like changed overnight. Like Master Chief got some like major character development while he was sleeping in the cryostasis, and he got all like, oh Cortana, I want to be with you, blah 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 blah, I love you Cortana, and stuff like that. Like they got a little bit too emotional there. It would have been better if they built up Tim being emotional, you know. But no, he just came out of the box emotional as fuck towards Cortana instead of this cold-hearted bastard. You know, they just ruined my man Chief. You made him to a soft Chad. He's still a Chad, but he's soft Chad. That's why he's gonna be an F. Multiplayer wise, I didn't really have fun with the multiplayer. I just go on it sometimes just to just casually play. It's a good casual game, I guess. You can just go around shoot people. Although I'd rather just play Call of Duty at that point, honestly. So yeah, the multiplayer, it has some armor abilities. They all suck. The only useful one is probably Sprint. The shield one, the only really useful one is Sprint. The maps are okay. I think the only one that I can remember off the top of my head is Exile, I think. I think it's the one with the Space Suns. I don't know. Forge, I wouldn't say it was an upgrade from Halo Reach. It's more like a little update from Reach. Is basically just Reach Forge was like a lot of updates. Although the MCC did kind of update it quite a bit. I don't remember if they released the anniversary. I get a little hazy after this. I don't remember what releases first. Right, releases after 4. I'm just gonna assume that's Halo Anniversary. I'm pretty sure Halo Anniversary released after 4. F tier. It's just like a really shitty remaster. It's like one of the worst remasters I ever seen in my entire fucking life. If any of you to any of you who liked the remaster, I'm sorry, but just like the lighting, the atmosphere completely ruined it. Completely ruined the flood. Oh my god, dude, that's just so awful. Oh my fucking god, dude. It's too bright. That's the problem with it. It's too bright. I almost feel kind of guilty putting it in F tier. Just the visuals kill it for me. I can't play the campaign with the anniversary graphics. I'm sorry, it's just too hard to look at. Oh my fucking, and it does not come with multiplayer. It just gives you, when it came out, it just gave you some some remakes in the Halo Reach campaign. It just gave you some remake maps from Halo C to multiplayer. Fuck. It just gave you downloadable content for Reach. They're just remade maps in Reach from Halo CE. I didn't really want that. I rather have a remastered multiplayer, even though it probably would have looked like shit. They reused too much of the Reach assets. I don't know what else you want me to say about this, man. Like, I don't even want to talk about this shit no more. Halo 5, I'll give it a C tier. I think Hidden Xperia put it like at the bottom, but I'll give it a C. Even though it did drift the way most, like, I don't even know what happened in the development of this. Everyone was saying they wanted classic Halo, and then they just shat out Halo 5. Like, how does that doesn't make any sense. Campaign, I'm not. You already know that's an F. Everyone already shitted on the campaign. I don't even need to go into it. I don't even need to explain to you why it's so ass. They lied to us about the narrative, and then the narrative that we got was basically straight up dookie fart. Although I will give them this: the voice acting was okay. The voice acting was good. Just the writing itself is just god awful. Okay, we're just gonna stop it there. Multiplayer wise, the multiplayer is fun. I can casually play Halo 5. Some people say it's too fast paced. I kind of get it. I'm used to. I'm okay with either fast paced or slow paced games because I play Call of Duty and Halo, so I can play both pretty casual. I can play Call of Duty casually. I can play Halo 5. That means I can play Halo 5 casually. Because Halo 5 is probably one of the fastest paced games in the Halo franchise. But I'm used to fast paced games, so I can play that casually. But I can see why, you know, people who only play Halo find it hard to play Halo 5 casually. It's too competitive for its own good, basically. Although it did kind of bring back, or it did started to bring back the esports community. But not as an entirety though. It's still nowhere near Halo 3. And it's not close to Halo Reaches either. So, but it is bringing it back a little bit. Hopefully Halo Infinite does bring it back in its entirety. Or at least close to it. Halo 5's multiplayer is fun. Warzone was fun. It does get pretty boring after a while. The Forge was a gigantic upgrade from Halo 4. I'll give it that. You can make some pretty intricate maps with it. More than any other Halo game, you can do a lot more than any other Halo game. Okay, with the Forge, you can do anything. The Forge, you can do a lot more than any of the other Halo games. You can put effects, special effects, and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Though it was too complicated for me. You know, because I'm a big dum-dum when it comes to making Forge maps. I'm not really good at making Forge maps, although it was pretty fun messing around in Halo 5 Forge. It did introduce in the PC side of things. It did have a custom games browser. If it wasn't a Halo game, it probably would have been It probably would have been received a lot better. But as a Halo game, it's pretty bottom of the barrel. I just realized this is Definitive Edition. I only played the Definitive Edition. I'm pretty sure they're pretty much the exact same game. I'm pretty sure. Okay, what's next? Halo War. I'm just gonna put Halo Wars 2 next. Halo Wars 2. I'm gonna put next. I think Halo Wars 2 does a lot more than Halo Wars 1, although I didn't put as many hours as I did in Halo Wars 1, but it was still the campaign actually had a good story. Multiplayer, I didn't put the multiplayer. It's not dead or anything. I just didn't really find any real urge to play the multiplayer. I know it's not really fair, but again, it's not even like any of the other Halo games. It's just RTS, right? That's how you pronounce it, right? That's how you say it, those kind of games, RTS. Anyway, let's continue on. Had a Halo game for the Atari? Holy shit. No, wait, the MCC, right? Is that the next one? Wait, why are there two MCCs? I'm so confused. I'm just gonna go... Wait, I gotta check my... I'm assuming that these two are from launch. I think this one's from launch and this one how it is now on PC and everything. I'm just gonna grade them all how it is now. How it is now, it's probably like... It's literally just all the Halo games, so I'm just gonna put it at S tier. It's basically just all the Halo games. Although they did add some new armors, some new maps to Halo 3, some new armors to Reach and 3, some new challenges. I haven't talked about the challenge system or the armor customization, but we kind of already know how it all is, how it all stacks up anyway. When it comes to that, we all know that Halo 3 does it the best, or Reach does it the best when it comes to customization. Although 4 had a lot more custom parts, like more customization, just the armor was just really garbage. Reach had better armors, just less it's just not as much customization as 4. Halo Also, the MCC adds a little bit more customization, I think, to 3. Basically just a huge add-on to all the games. I just put that on top. Halo 2 Anniversary. Oh my god, this is how you do a freaking remaster, okay? You hear that? Halo 1 Anniversary, this is how you do it. Yeah, I'm gonna put an A though. Campaign S tier, right? I already talked about the Halo 2 campaign. Alright, Halo 2 S tier. It actually has a multiplayer. Although it's just a reskin of Halo 4. Okay, it's just Halo 4 pretending to be Halo 2. And you know what? The one thing that I don't like about Halo 4 was the announcer. The way the announcer sounded. And how the gun sounded. The sound design, poopy. Alright? It was garbage. Don't lie to yourself. We all know it was bad. We all know that it was pretty bad. Even though, yeah, it was bad. Forge, I can see the same thing about the Forge, except it adds a lot more to Halo 4, but not as much as 5. I'm gonna say it's kind of in between 4 and 5, I guess, when it comes to the level of things you can do in Halo 2's Forge. The maps are amazing though. Like, I like the blank canvases that it gives you. You can do a lot in it compared to just like the preset maps, you know. I don't think it's worthy of an S tier, okay? Damn. The video's over, I guess. I was gonna ask you guys what you would change, but this is the definitive tier list. You cannot argue with this. You literally cannot argue with this. This is the definitive tier list. The only tier list that should be taken seriously. I am a credible source. If you think otherwise, you're just a hater, bro. You just cringe. I don't know. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have an amazing day. I love you all. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. Peace out.